What if I told you there's a place where the line between reality and nightmare blurs, where history whispers its darkest secrets, and where the shadows seem to have lives of their own? A place so steeped in mystery and legend that its name alone conjures images of fear, fascination, and the macabre. This is Bran Castle, perched high in the rugged hills of Transylvania. Its imposing towers and stone walls casting an eerie silhouette against the moonlit sky. You've heard the stories, no doubt. The tales of Vlad the Impaler, the infamous ruler who inspired the legend of Dracula. The accounts of ghostly apparitions, strange noises, and an oppressive energy that clings to the castle like a second skin. But what really happens at Bran Castle after the sun sets and the veil of darkness descends? The truth is more chilling and more compelling than any fiction. Imagine this. It's midnight and you're standing alone in the castle's grand hall. The air is heavy, thick with the scent of ancient wood and stone. The flickering light of a single candle casts dancing shadows on the walls, making it impossible to tell where the room ends and the darkness begins. Suddenly you hear it, a faint whisper just behind you. You spin around, heart pounding, but there's no one there. Then, from the corner of your eye, you catch a fleeting movement, a shadow that shouldn't be there. This is the kind of experience that countless visitors to Bran Castle have described, and it's just the beginning. To understand what happens at Bran Castle after dark, we must first delve into its history. Built in the 14th century as a fortress to defend against invading forces, the castle has seen centuries of bloodshed, betrayal, and suffering. Its connection to Vlad the Impaler, the real-life inspiration for Dracula, adds another layer of darkness. While Vlad's actual association with the castle is tenuous, the mere suggestion of his presence has cemented Bran Castle's reputation as a place of fear and fascination. But the castle's history isn't the only thing that gives it its sinister aura. Over the years, countless visitors and staff have reported strange occurrences that defy explanation. Disembodied voices, phantom footsteps, and inexplicable cold spots are just the beginning. Some have even claimed to see ghostly figures roaming the halls, their translucent forms drifting silently through the darkness. One of the most infamous tales involves a woman known as the Lady in White. According to legend, she was a noblewoman who lived in the castle centuries ago. Her story is one of love, betrayal, and tragedy. She fell in love with a soldier, but their romance was forbidden. When their affair was discovered, she was imprisoned within the castle, where she eventually died of a broken heart. Her spirit is said to linger, searching for the love she was denied in life. Visitors often report seeing her figure near the castle's chapel, her white gown glowing faintly in the moonlight. But the Lady in White is not the only spirit said to haunt Bran Castle. There are also tales of a dark, malevolent presence that lurks in the dungeons. This entity is described as a shadowy figure with glowing red eyes, a being that radiates an overwhelming sense of dread. Those who have encountered it say it feels as though the very air is being sucked from their lungs, leaving them paralyzed with fear. And then there are the strange, unexplained noises that fill the castle at night. Doors creak open and slam shut on their own, footsteps echo through empty hallways, and faint whispers seem to come from nowhere. Some visitors have even reported hearing what sounds like a woman sobbing, her cries echoing through the stone corridors. Perhaps the most chilling accounts come from those who have dared to stay overnight in the castle. In recent years, Bran Castle has opened its doors to guests, offering them the chance to experience its haunted history firsthand. But for many, the experience is more than they bargained for. One guest, a self-proclaimed skeptic, recounted how they woke in the middle of the night to find their room filled with an icy cold. That seemed to seep into their very bones. As they sat up, they noticed a figure standing at the foot of their bed, a tall, shadowy form that seemed to be watching them. The figure didn't move, didn't make a sound. It simply stood there, its presence so oppressive that the guest was unable to speak or move. When they finally managed to turn on the light, the figure was gone, but the feeling of dread lingered long after. Another guest described hearing a soft, rhythmic tapping on their window, despite being on one of the upper floors where no one could possibly reach. When they mustered the courage to look outside, they saw nothing but darkness. But the tapping continued throughout the night, growing louder and more insistent. as if something or someone was trying to get in. The staff at Bran Castle have their own stories to tell. Many refuse to be in the castle after dark, citing an overwhelming sense of unease. One caretaker described how they once heard a loud crash coming from the grand hall, as if something heavy had fallen. When they went to investigate, they found the room empty and everything in its place. But as they turned to leave, they felt a hand brush against their shoulder, though no one was there. So what is it about Bran Castle that makes it such a hotspot for paranormal activity? Some believe it's the castle's history, its walls steeped in centuries of bloodshed and suffering. Others think it's the land itself, a place where the boundaries between the physical and spiritual worlds are unusually thin. And then there are those who believe the castle's connection to Vlad the Impaler has drawn dark forces to it, feeding on the fear and fascination of those who visit. Whatever the explanation, one thing is certain. Bran Castle is a place that leaves an indelible mark on all who enter. Its dark, labyrinthine corridors seem to pulse with an energy that defies logic, an energy that makes you question what is real and what is not. For those brave enough to explore its haunted halls, Bran Castle offers an experience unlike any other. It's a place where history and legend collide, where the past feels eerily present, and where the shadows seem to have a life of their own. But be warned, once you step into the world of Bran Castle, you may find it impossible to leave it behind. The memories of what you see, hear, and feel within its walls will stay with you, haunting your dreams and making you question everything you thought you knew about the world. So would you dare to spend a night at Bran Castle? Would you walk its darkened halls, knowing you might not be alone? Or would you prefer to admire it from a distance, letting its mysteries remain just that, mysteries? The choice is yours, but remember, some doors once opened can never be closed, and some truths once uncovered can never be forgotten.